Second rule that when it comes to helping the poor, and it is, help must be accompanied with self-help. In other words, a person must be willing to help themselves. If you're going to help poor people, you got to go by this principle that help must be associated or accompanied with self-help. I must be willing to help myself. Leviticus 23 and verse 22 says this. It says, when you reap your harvests of the land, don't reap the corners of your field or gather the gleanings. Leave them for the poor and the foreigners. I am God, your God. Now this is a fascinating concept. The concept is this, that when you would reap your harvest, you would leave the four corners of your field for the poor. Okay? Now let's understand something. You leave the four corners for the poor. It doesn't say that you harvest the four corners. It doesn't say that you can it and fix it and cook it and can it and put it away and carry it to the poor and say, here's your food. No. It just says you leave the four corners of your field for the poor. What does that tell you? It tells you the poor had to get their butts out there, harvest it, can it, or whatever they did with it, cook it, fix it, and prepare it themselves. You just leave it for them. Now this to me sort of goes contrary to a lot of churches and food banks, and we get this food, we got it in cans. Why don't we spoon feed it to the poor? Why don't we sit them down and burp them and get a spoon and say, open your mouth, here's some food. Why don't we just do everything for them? Why don't we live their lives for them? No, this scripture tells you something you need to understand about helping the poor. It says you leave the four corners for the poor. They have to harvest it for themselves. Help must be accompanied with self-help.
Is that really in the Bible? What you think is in the Bible is not.